In this edition of Faculty Engaged, I had the opportunity to meet with Saquib Ahmed, Assistant Professor in the Department of Engineering Technology, to learn about his engaged teaching and research, and also how he is supporting Buffalo State students to engage in research and sharing their findings in scholarly journals. Well, I've been hearing about some wonderful things that you're up to. And so I thought it'd be really great to have you featured as an engaged faculty member. And then to eventually just to talk a bit about the kind of work you're doing in terms of teaching and research and how you're involving our amazing students in your work. So let's start at the beginning. How did we get you here to Buffalo State?
Thank you. And again, thanks very much for having me. I was born in Bangladesh, which is in South Asia, as you know. So I went to a British school, and then I came to the US for college, and I started at Franklin and Marshall College as part of what's called a 3-2 program with Columbia. So I did 3 years at Franklin Marshall. I did physics and math as majors, and then I moved to Columbia for the 2 years. So it was more engineering. So I did industrial engineering and economics. So it was 5 years in total, but I got 4 degrees.
Wow.
Which is, at that time, obviously, as a kid, you're just going through the motions and you're going through your gut instinct, what you like and what your friends are doing and, what comes natural to you. So, after graduation, I took a year off. I just taught in New York City, various schools, to just kind of try to figure out what I'm doing. I worked in Wall Street for a couple of firms for a few months. And then I quickly realized that's not for me. I needed to find my niche. So the natural thing was go back to grad school. So I went to grad school at Rutgers, right across the river, in physics again. With grad school also, it was a journey because my primary interest really was in astrophysics. And in the middle of it, actually, it's a personal story, but my mother passed away. From cancer. Yeah, she had ovarian carcinoma and she fought for 5 years. So that kind of, among other things, obviously, it put the whole astrophysics thing into a little bit of a perspective that while it's amazing, it doesn't really have much impact on people now. And I'm on this earth for a short time. So all that kind of changed. So I changed my track and I went into more of clean energy. So I literally went into solar cell device physics. So what that does is that it kind of trains you up in a broader set of semiconductor physics. I really liked Intel, but at that stage, I've just accumulated a whole lot more of experience, perspective, relevance. And it seemed like for me, given my personality, I wanted to be in a space where I could do a lot of breakthrough research because my area was in breakthrough research, but not be defined by one particular dimension. And in industry space, in semiconductor industry, that's all you're doing. You're very limited, very particular thing within a very huge industry. Very not me. I wanted as many interfaces as possible. And again, my background perhaps here was speaking to me because I had that. I started teaching part-time in a couple of the Portland universities. It was stuff I was doing right then and there, impacting people right then and there. I was coming across a very diverse set of individuals. I've always been excited about even in research, but also in society with interfacial studies, meaning where things meet. And you're absolutely right. Like an urban college is where so many dimensions of reality meet in terms of students, in terms of just everyday college activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I've heard a lot about you is how you work with our students and how you really support the students in the research process. So could you talk a little bit about sort of your philosophy and how do you do it and how do you get students to get, as undergraduates, really committed to your very interdisciplinary research areas?
Sure. So I think fall of 2018, that's when I joined. First semester, I saw this student. He was struggling a bit. He was a transfer student from NCCC. I saw a brilliant kid. So I told him to stay back, hang back after class one day. Let's have a conversation. Listen, this is the kind of work I do. I have been an experimentalist my whole life, but obviously coming to Buffalo State, a lot of the resources was missing. So what I did was I pivoted and I went into theoretical work, which is mostly computational and simulation, for which you don't necessarily need a whole lot of resources. You can do with nothing but free software available online, and you can actually do quite good fundamental research. So in the meantime, I've had this interdisciplinary idea in my mind that the things cannot operate in silos. So you cannot do science or technology in silos. So I remember back in early 2019, I started going to every single department. So I went to physics, I went to chemistry. I kind of pitched what I was doing, and I was telling professors and students that, listen, just give me some time after your class, give me 5-10 minutes. Let me just tell students what I'm doing, see if I can garner interest, because what I'm doing is not only physics and engineering, but it's many things. So perhaps it can, entice them and make them think. Let's have a look at a program at Buffalo State that is very relevant to Buffalo State. So it's a combination of a few things. There's a need of extremely versatile, talented workforce. Buffalo State is seeing an issue with retention, and we need perhaps an attractive curriculum that is holistic and versatile and connects all these things together, so that students who are graduating will have multiple dimensions to them that can easily move with labor demands. For me, being back in the academic setting, I get to be a kid again, and I've been a kid my whole life. Like, I want to learn. I mean, I love teaching, sure, but for the most part, I'm learning from my students more, as much as they're learning from me. You don't get that in a big school. In a big school, everyone's siloed. Everyone's got a clean energy institute, but no one has that interfacing with economics or with artificial intelligence. Who's doing that? This is, for me, Buffalo State has been amazing. So like I said, I love just being a student again, and and there's no way to put a dollar amount on it. So I just wanted to kind of put it out there.
Well, thank you. It's so wonderful to hear all of that. And that is just such a gift. You're absolutely right.
So academia and doing all this is only, however crazy it is, it's only one part of many parts of other stuff.
It's a big slice, but not all of the pie.
But thank you, Dr. Khan.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Take care. Yeah. Bye.